about house music. Next week, we're going to have Micah Salkind, who wrote Do You Remember House? So these are really two great, I mean, seriously, I've been reading so many amazing stories. I just want to give some shout outs because Jesse's been having some guests on the show along with Lauren, but some really great stories from people we typically don't hear from. Certainly the disco years, Robert Williams, Tyrone Mix, Arliss Ball, Charlie, Azalone, Tony Powell, Frankie Annabelle, Robert Ellis. I can't tell you. There's so many great folks that some of whom I knew and I was friends with, and some of whom I'm just learning. Because I think we can all say we've been to a lot of parties. You know, you're part of this scene that we know of house music. You've been out a lot. We were club kids. We were professionally doing that for a long time. You know, many people you just kind of rubbed elbows with and you kept it moving. So I find it amazing, remarkable, a beautiful tribute to the people not only behind the decks or in the studios, but the people who made it possible for us all to do that. And those were the dancers, and those were the people who gave house music its heart. So, I just really want to give a big shout out to everybody who contributed to it. And if you didn't contribute to it, it's not too late. This is why we have the Vintage House Show, is to hear your stories. So, hit us up. Let us know if you want to come on and be a part of this history, because this is a way that we're going to celebrate your life and your contribution. And there's been many. I'll say one more thing. Kevin Abdullah is one of our buds, somebody I used to hang out with in the early 80s, and most of you know Kevin and his brother Craig. They were just beautiful boys on the scene. And he and I had a great conversation about a project where we can get as many voices into a pictorial, kind of like I won't give it all away because he would be mad at me, but something that we would produce that would be beautiful, that would be a keepsake, that many of you could have, to show your kids and grandkids about this wonderful thing that you were a part of. Kind of like a great day in Harlem, but it's like a great day in house music. So, hit me up on Facebook and say I want to be down, and I'll keep you posted. What's up, Jesse? He's tuning in. Hey, Reggie, thanks for tuning in. Are you reading Micah's book? So I'm double booked tonight because Micah's here next week, but we're doing Jesse every night. So some really cool things in there. All right, I'll stop talking, and I'm going to say, Lauren, what's going on?
I'm really so happy that people are taking house music seriously as a field of study, really thoughtfully bringing the true stories to life. That's what Vintage House is all about. During COVID, we've got just quite a few people really sharing the stories in unique ways, and I'm really happy about that. I really feel good that people are doing great things. We've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm so thankful that the both of you also recognized how important it was to share these stories. That I always felt like the DJs, we never heard from the DJs, right? We never heard from Lowery. We never heard about their real lives. We never heard from the dancers. We never heard from the promoters. What was really going on in that project where we can get So I hear someone's background. Do you?
That's a little echo, but it's all good. Go ahead, honey.
Okay, just checking. But I was like,
hey, there's Mike. I'm gonna bring him on. Hang on 1 second. Mike Dunn's in the house. Woohoo! You made it.
What's up, Mighty Mike?
Thanks for joining us.
What's going on, everybody? What's up, Lowery?
What's up, Mike Dunn? We're so happy you're here. Thanks for joining us. Everyone's been waiting. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain.
Okay.
So I call this brother up to check on where he is, and of course he's working. He was grinding behind the board. He had his headphones on. The phone was on the side, and he's like, "Oh no!" And
The studio, I looked over and saw the phone go off. I was like, "Oh snap!" It totally slipped my mind.
it was only promoted across the entire internet world, so we're glad you.
I'm bad, y'all. When I get locked in, it's bad.
Well,
I do pop in my head. I got to get them out.
we actually, we want to hear more about that process as we get to it, but I do want to formally introduce our Vintage House Show guests for tonight, June 17th, 2020, the year of the asterisk. But it's been a special year and time for the Vintage House crew because we've been able to bring you the stories of greats and icons and legends in house and the house music business and the lifestyle that is house music throughout all of this, and as importantly, conversations about our current state of being. And so with that, I want to introduce a gentleman who's been certainly legendary and renowned in the house genre. He is a house DJ, remixer, producer, a member of the Chosen Few DJs. This is Mike Dunn.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Hold on. I see that everybody's phone is in HD, so I'm gonna turn by the HD too.
There you go.
Right. I just needed something to prop it up with.
So, as you get that ready, Mike, we were originally thinking, well, do we get Mike to do a mix set, or do we sit him down and just have great conversation and insight, or do we do a full-blown lecture series on Mike Dunn? And we decided we will sit you down and let you relax because we know that you've got some work going on behind you there, and we'll catch you for a mix session on your next appearance with us. Does that sound good?
Nah, perfect, baby, perfect. All right, so I see the pictures locked in now. We good.
All right, so everyone checking in: Reggie Davenport, Jesse Saunders. We see you guys. They call you the Funky One. You got many aliases. Tell us about some of those aliases.
Look, what? Looking back, I should have done a whole lot of just Mike Dunn records, but because I was in a mindset then, like everything I did had a reason behind it. Jazz Man was more the jazzy type samples. The MD Express was more the funky stuff. Mike Dunn was more the tracky stuff. One Funky Brother. Then I got this, the names just go on. I just made up names.
MD3.
Right, what I'm saying? MD3, of course, yeah. It was, but MD3, how MD3 came about was my first two records were on my friend's Chris Westbrook's label, which was Westbrook.
Yes.
And my third record was on DJ International. So I called it Mike Dunn #3. That's how I came up with the MD3.
Got it.
So, like I said, every time I did something, it was to boost me more as a producer and a remixer and less as an artist. So I just all my pseudos and all my alter egos just that's basically what it turned out to be. All just all my alter ego stuff.
And you did an album in which you attempted to sort of bring all those alter egos and aliases together. Talk about the album.
Well, I did two. One I did back in 90 something, which was with Desire Records in the UK. And then this last one, which I did with my manager and my partner, Mark Potts. He's out of England, Sheffield. And I just basically wanted to put together so people would understand, my house, which is what I named it, my house from all angles.
Right.
So if you're looking into my house, which is the house music, of course, I'm giving you like everything. The acid stuff I did, the funky stuff I did, the jazzy stuff I did, the sample stuff I did, so it was me coming from basically from all angles, just giving you a little bit of everything. It was the gumbo,
I love that. I love that. It was a gumbo. I'm sure all of us in the Vintage House crew love gumbo. And so a musical gumbo is even more delicious.
Yeah.
My House from All Angles. If you haven't heard it, you haven't tracked it, you must get it. Mike, we started with this discussion and we kind of just jumped right in, but take us back. Let's get to the origin, the beginnings of Mike Dunn as a house DJ, remixer, producer, artist.
Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna plug my phone up so it don't die on us and I get out of here. Okay, so Karen, repeat that one more time for me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, y'all.
Absolutely. We sort of jumped right in and we got into the aliases and the coming together of that great album, House from All Angles, but wanted to start from the beginning a little bit and understand some of the origins of you and house music. I've heard that there's this one disco song that really set things off in your heart in terms of pursuing house music.
Well, it wasn't house yet.
Okay.
And we were all into the MTV. The Michael Jackson was the only person we really saw
The
that
80s.
looked like us on TV.
Yeah.
And so that's really all we had to. That's all we had to go on at that time. But I lived in Inglewood. I moved with my grandma because my uncle had passed, and she was staying by herself. So I elected to move with my grandma to, so she would be with herself, and that's how I ended up in Inglewood.
Okay.
And right around the corner from me, Tyrese stayed. And then, okay, hold on. I'm zooming something. I didn't touch something. It looked like the screen is dimming out or doing something crazy. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, let me fix this. Okay.
We got you crystal clear on this end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was tilted a little bit over here. So, going back, and then I had another friend that stayed on Marquette Road, which was right off on Marquette and Ashland, which was Todd and his brother, and my other friend Melvin, whose family owned the building we stayed in, but they lived on the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
His big brother Lynn, and Todd's brother, which was John, they used to go see Frankie all the time at the original warehouse on 206. So, but I knew nothing about that as
you were shorty, huh?
I just, every time I came over to Todd's house, John would be playing a CD from Frank. So I didn't know it was Frank at the time, of course, but he playing this mix, and it seemed like every time I came over there, this one song was playing, which was "Is It All Over My Face."
What year time frame was this?
This was like 81, maybe 81, 82, possibly. Like,
yeah.
So.
Were you in high school yourself, or?
Right. We were going,
Well, high school, you got to represent.
This one was going to all the high school parties. I was going from, to the Cadillac Ladies, the Lords,
Longwood, Unity.
Because I had friends around the corner that girls that went to, was the Lords out west.
Yeah.
And then Cadillac Lady, my friend up under me, he went to St. Rita. So I was able to go to all those parties and things of that sort. My grandma was real strict on me, and you can't, so I had to get out. But back to the question was, it kept playing this record, and the record used to get on my nerves. I was like, what is wrong with her? She sounds like she's drunk or something. When you first, you hear Michael Jackson. I was a Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Fanatic. I thought I was Michael Jackson. For Christmas, the Forever Michael album was under the tree for me, because that's what I was like.
Love it.
I need that, like, it's a dear Michael, Mike. So I thought that was me, the same name, the whole nine. So
right, your namesake was rocking it out.
Right. So when I heard her singing, I was like, oh my God, she sounds drunk or high or something. But the song grew on me, and it kept, and next thing of course, we're all music people, so of course you know how it is. You keep hearing the song over and over. Eventually, you start singing it, a song that you didn't even like, and you find yourself you're like, I don't even like this song. Why am I singing this song?
Yeah, but don't you think, is it all, Mike, don't you think, is it all over my face? I think everybody had that reaction when you first heard, is it all over my face? It's like, is she real? Is this a joke? Like, because she can't sing, but there was something like really catchy about it. And the more you heard it, the more it kind of grew on you. And it kind of became a house anthem,
It still is today.
It still is.
Sorry, look, I mean, it was like when I finally got to experience that song in a club.
Oh Lord, yeah.
It changed my whole mindset about the record.
Yeah.
Because you hearing it just coming over somebody's house, you're young, you never heard it before. You like, man, what is, I'm saying, like I say, I was a big Michael Jackson fan. So, that was, for me hearing that, I was like, but I was
like, what is this?
It's a part of history that I cannot deny. And I know it gets off the chain, but he gets off the chain. But Leonard Roy was the one that introduced me to a lot of the stuff, because I used to be a dancer and I used to go to the Loop.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to the Ring Zone.
Yeah.
I used to go to the Ring Zone and get checked home all the time, because we was from Inglewood. That's a whole other story. We ain't supposed to be down
Hey,
here.
65th and Sangamon, okay? That's where I was. Right. I'm from Inglewood.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Kershaw Elementary. What's up?
Yeah. So you understand, Lord?
Yes, of course.
No. So we would get chased all the time. We had a crew named Hostage, because when I first was going to parties in 81, 82, going to the playground, my favorite dance crew that I wanted to be in was Spy Guys. Jackie and them were just, they used to blow my mind. They had the big boots on and the long black jackets, and they come in the club and
working it out.
Farley or Jesse, you know what I'm saying? When Farley or Jesse would put on Spies, they would go bananas, and it was Spies. Back in they don't have that now. I mean, when it was American Boys, American Girls, I could go on. That's,
What?
But, like I said,
what was the name? How did you guys come up with Hostage?
Huh?
How did you guys come up with Bostitch as the name of your group?
We used to love that song.
Okay.
Bostitch was another song that you went bananas. You like I would say the kids now, and I say kids, been partying for 10 years, 15 years. They don't get that experience. You know, they're you know what I'm saying? They're getting the watered down replay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you have those that say, I was there. You ask them how old they are, and I used to, you know, it's like everybody snuck in the box. Everybody snuck in the power plant. Everybody, no. No, you're not sneaking in anyway. Either somebody brought you in there,
or you weren't there.
That had, you know what I'm saying, that had props with either Big Donzel and them at the door or something like that. Or you wasn't sneaking in no box. You know, so stop it. So that's another whole story. So, like I said, but you know, just hearing those songs, when you heard them when they first came out, when you went to Lowery can attest to this. When you went to the record store, when you went to Imports, or you went to Loop, and you touched that record, you like heard that record, and they called you and said that the record was in. And you ran down there and hurried up before they sold out.
Oh my gosh, those are good memories.
I know. I remember this.
You know, and you would go down there and you would just, I mean, it's just different now. I talked to Hugo H a lot, and I told him, I said, man, now you can, you know what I'm saying, you can shop in your drawers now. You know what I'm saying? You can sit in your house and just, it's so easy.
Digging in the crates was a beautiful experience, right?
I know I'm rambling, but that broke up the community of us getting together, talking, what you playing, such played this last night, the crowd went crazy, such played that. This was a time when we were all behind records. You know, we were, now it's an individuality sport now. Mm-hmm. It used to be a collective thing where we all got together.
Wow.
And we all either Saturday morning or Friday night, we were all at the store. Passing each other, or we coming in, somebody coming out, or this, or we standing in front of gramophone, or we doing this in front of Imports, or we talk, you know, it's like, and then it's like, I feel like people don't know how to break records. It's like you play a record for a week or two and it's gone.
No shelf life. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of great records out. It's a lot of great records out there, but the community of us with that camaraderie, we're DJs, so of course we want to be the best at what we do, but we still had a togetherness of, okay, we're all gonna go here, such. We're all gonna see go here, such.
Mike, can you talk a little bit about that community that sort of brought you up through this genre to where you are today? Who were some of the biggest inspirations for you? And you dropped some names earlier, so you can say them again. Give them their props. Who else?
Because I was a Farley fan. When I first, you go to high school, you got your Sony Walkman. Hopefully, they gave you lunch at 12 o'clock. Your lunch was at 12 o'clock.
That reminds me, what high school? What high school did you go to?
DuSable High.
Okay.
Which was the Panthers, baby.
DuSable
I
Panthers.
grew up in Robert Taylor.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, we moved on. You know, we got kicked out of a lot of places, so we went.
What other folks came out of DuSable in the house scene with you that inspired you?
Who came out? You know, like there's a lot of DJs that came out of the do. Let's say I was one of the first that really started DJing, and everybody was looking like, man, what you doing? My man Gino Van Treese, he used to be, you know, that was my big bro, is my big bro.
Yeah.
And, you know, he saw me DJing, and my Mike, man, what you doing? Because that's when it was sock hops, yo.
Sock hops.
You know what I'm saying? So I was DJing the sock hop, yo, and he like, man, what you doing, man? So it's like me, Tyree, Hugo, that was the three amigos. We always were together. We always practice. That's when you went over people's house and practice. That's when you went over, you know, you just DJ all day and all night. You couldn't wait to get out of school and do your homework so you could go DJ and practice. And that's all we would do all day, all night. We would just, you know, either equipment would be over my friend's house, Pinot, or it would be at Tyree's house. You know, me and Ty used to cut school. We were in college, and we hardly ever went.
That's a DJ story. That's a DJ story. I took 8 years to get through college because I hardly ever went.
It's sort of a rite of passage, right?
Hey, look.
As a DJ.
The house music, you know what I'm saying? And really before it, before it was all house. When we were playing a lot of disco and things like that. So hearing a double back. What's going on? Okay, can I turn my volume down? No, then I won't hear y'all.
Well, yeah.
I think you're okay. I muted everybody. I think you're okay.
Mike, his phone might have died. He was going down some incredible paths of the music, the people, life at DuSable, his inspiration. Sounds like Tyree Cooper is actually a future guest for Vintage House. We will have to get him on. Can you hear me?
Can I? Yeah, well, I can hear you. Let me read something about Mike Dunn while he's getting unstuck. So, look, I hate to keep promoting the books, but he is going to be our guest next week. Do you remember House? Michael Salkind, and he did such an amazing job. He, along with Jesse Saunders, book number 2. Got to get it while it's hot. But here's what he said about, he mentions Mike several times in the book, but I like this because Mike was just starting to allude to kind of that second wave of people in the late 80s and people who said they were at one scene but really were a part of another scene. And so he says, according to DJ Mike Dunn, who was building a name for himself, this is around 1989, in the city at the time, parties at the Bismarck were a critical access point for young black dancers in the city. Most people will go back and talk about Frankie Knuckles and Ron Hardy, but the Bismarck with Lil Lewis was where a lot of people started to party. Mike goes on to remark upon ways that straight teens who came into the house scene during the mid-1980s would situate their participation with respect to the music box, power plant, and the warehouse to convey a connection to the roots of that culture, but they probably never went to any of those venues.
Truth.
Hey.
Welcome back, Mike.
Hey.
We were just, I was just commenting. That's all right, baby. I was commenting on Micah's book. I know you probably have a copy of it. If you don't, I'll send you one. I have like a box of them, you know. It's like, I always like try to like pass them out as Christmas because I just love these. I love DJ books. You know, I bought a bunch of Jesse's too. But anyway, he was talking about the same thing that you mentioned, that people really were situated at the Bismarck where they were really hearing Lil Lewis and folks like that. But they want to say that they were hearing Frankie Knuckles and Ron Hardy, but really where they were coming out was places like at the Bismarck and those other venues, which were equally important, but we don't talk about them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because, you know, the Bismarck had, you know, Lewis had his run, that was huge. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
The Bismarck, you know what I'm saying? The Bismarck was a staple party. It was something that everybody was looking forward to. But then, you know, you had the Racquetball Club, you had
Hyde Park, Racquetball, yeah.
You know, you had the Mendel, you had the, you know what I'm saying, you had a few parties. I mean, if you were in it, you know, you had a few parties, then you had Leo, then you had, you know, you had a few at De La Salle, we were partying wherever we could party, you know, and, you know, that was the thing, especially back when we were in high school. The thing was to go to those, you know, private school parties. If you could get in there, you know, because we thought all the pretty girls.
We
You know?
That's great.
we have very fond memories of those, and you dropped a lot of gems on us with regard to some of those parties and the experiences, right, of going. You even referred to the term sock hop. That is like who even understands in today's generation that expression now. It was a different time.
Man.
What about that time again made you sort of evolve into making records? There is a record that is in the, man, I don't know how, if there was a House Music Hall of Fame today, Dance You Mother would be an epitome song of that whole experience. Can you talk about what that journey was like?
Dance You Mother was a track. Okay, when I was moving my grandma in Inglewood, I met a friend, rest in peace, passed away, King George Seymour. And George had the equipment, but he couldn't DJ, which means he couldn't mix two records. So George was a DJ that put on a record, let it fade out, put on another record, fade out. And I could DJ. And he was doing Ogden Park. So he basically brought me on to be his DJ for the kids when we did the parties at Ogden Park. Ogden Park stopped doing the parties, and we started up at St. Stephen's, which we called the Courtyard. And the Courtyard was something we did every week for the kids in the neighborhood. You know, that couldn't go out. They couldn't go, you know, to the downtown clubs. They didn't have money to go to the downtown. Wasn't old enough, or, you know what I'm saying, what have you. So Dance Mother was a track that I did, and the original track is really, excuse my French, it's Dance Motherfucker. But I cut it off. So Dance You Mother, it was really going, dance motherfucker, dance, dance, dance motherfucker, dance, dance, dance motherfucker, dance, 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 you motherfucker, dance. But that was a little too crazy.
Yeah, good thing we're not in the studio right now.
That's
we'd
right.
be dump. We can't do that.
Right.
But hey, we'll see. We're on Facebook.
Right. So
YouTube.
it ended up being Dance You Mother, You mother, mother, dance, you mother. So I basically chopped it off so that I could play it because we were at St. Stephen's,
Hello.
which was church. Yeah, play that inside. Like, no, like you can't play that version. So it got chopped down. And I was just playing and playing and playing. I had no. That thing wasn't putting records out. I was just doing track. That's what I always did as a DJ. I made tracks to play at the party so that I could be different from another DJ. And then Bam Bam called up to KKC to find out who made that record. And Tyree was up there and got in touch with Tyree. And Tyree was like, man, Bam Bam, what's my boy, man, put that record out. Straight up? Yeah. At that time, me and Tyree were doing High Society, which was the old, what was the name of that club? The High Society was it's the police station now up there on Halsted and 77th and Halsted. And Sam Chapman owned the club because Sam had bought it and named it What's Poppin'. But at first it was, it was the High Society, and it was another famous name before that. But, that's where that record was based.
We lost them again.
You know what I'm saying? I should have put on Do Not Disturb and all that too. So, yeah, so Dance Your Mother was just a track, and my big brother, Nam, was trying to get me, and Tyree was like, no, man, that's my boy, man. No, you can't. So, that record almost came out with somebody else name on it. Job.
I'm going to share a little something for our audience here. It is, again, you're tuned into the Vintage House Show with tonight's guest, Mike Dunn, Dunn Rough Entertainment, and the Chosen Few DJs. He's representing well tonight. He's in his studio. We actually disturbed him from some master lab work that he was doing.
No. Okay, now let me explain.
Okay.
I'm still using that email, but it's Blackball Music now.
Oh, okay.
Dunn Rough Entertainment was the hip hop breakdown.
Thank you for correcting.
Right. So Dunn Rough was on my mom.
Okay.
So, and my favorite producer, so I named that company after my favorite producer, which was Dr. Dre, Dunn Rough Entertainment, D-R-E. So, love, just drop some more little stuff for you that you may have not known. So when I did the deal with Bad Boy, with Puff, I started Dunn Rough Entertainment. And I wanted to merge my name with Dr. Dre's name. And that's how I came up with Dunn Rough Entertainment, which was the 3 letters of Dunn Rough Entertainment spell out Dre.
Nice. And so I don't know if you can see the screen right now. Here's a throwback to Mike Dunn, the younger Mike Dunn, just a few years ago.
Just a lot of picture. That's the. Hey, look, my mom had that picture on her wall for years until it started folding up, man.
And then there were a couple of other monumental songs in your discography that I wanted to make sure everyone watching knew about. Magic Feet, and
Yeah,
Let It
that's
Be
wrong.
House.
Magic Feet was never on Trax record. That was some bootleg, bogus, Screaming Rachel stuff right there. That was not an official
Release.
Mike Dunn release.
Duly noted. We'll remove that image.
And the Westbrook joint, yeah, that's so Let It Be House, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. On the first day of the screw, it was sent to make you move, and you loved it.
So earlier you talked about community, Mike. Here's you and some of your community. Talk about what these people mean to you. Can you see these three?
Okay, so the Chosen Few brothers is. Let me begin with that, and then I'll work my way, saving the best for last. The Chosen Few brothers I was friends with all of them from before I even became a Chosen Few member. So it was, my plan was never to get into the Chosen Few. It just happened organically with Wayne, me doing my Tuesday night at Reynolds, and Wayne, I would always have him come and guest and do things like that. And Wayne was like, bro, hey, And I mean, this went on for like 3 years before they even, put me in. So, I was doing the early 9 o'clock in the morning sets. And hopefully somebody see me. But all of them my brothers, H, Terry, T, and Wayne. Wayne, go back to Wayne all the way to the Jive days. And Jesse, of course. Andre was like, and still is like it goes from Frank and then Andre. Andre is my favorite DJ. Every birthday party I ever had at the warehouse, Andre was the DJ. When Andre was Andre.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's pretty special. He was my favorite DJ for a long time too. A long time. We came up together. He was like my little brother. And I was like, this dude, when he's on fire, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to come for that.
Man, there's nobody like Dre. So Dre was always, he did every birthday that I ever had at the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And because he was my favorite, he was my favorite DJ. And then, I met Alan, years and years after. But Jesse, Wayne, Terry, Tony, who am I forgetting?
Andre
Dre,
and Alan. Yeah.
right. All of those were my brothers. They've been my brothers for almost as long as I've been doing music. Now, the other picture, I think, because it's off the screen, the other picture, I think I saw Chauncey in there. I saw Chauncey Alexander. And Chauncey's just the most genuine brother you ever gonna meet. Like, his heart is like that bro didn't.
We know Chauncey. The house tree,
that.
Chauncey Alexander.
I think I see.
PJ.
Is that T or is that Greg Winfield?
Yep. Terry and Paul Johnson.
And Paul and PJ. I've known PJ from the Mondo days when we had music records and we had warehouse records. So
nice.
It was knowing Paul before the accident. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and ain't got nothing else to say about that picture. Now, going over to the main picture, which was me and my mentor, just like, I love that man. Like,
Which man?
if you,
What's his name? Say his name.
Frank, with Frankie Knuckles, if you look at that picture
Yes.
and you look at it extremely well, look how tight I'm holding him
Yeah.
with my hand.
You clutching him.
Yeah.
You got the grip.
So that was the last picture we took together, and that was at a seminar that Steve was doing to showcase some DJ equipment, and that was Hurley.
Yeah.
Hurley was doing some, and Frankie was sitting down in the chair, and I came in late. I came up behind him, kissed him on the cheek, and he turned around, and he always, Michael. I was like, hey, Frank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's like, you know, Frank, we gonna talk later. I said, okay. So Sundance actually took that picture.
Nice.
So Sundance took that picture and sent it to me because they had a photo guy there, but you know, how often do people come take pictures of us and then we never even get a copy of it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
All the time.
right. You know, like, man, what's going on? Oh yeah, I'm look, and you have to stop taking, you can't take free pictures and not send me none of them. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but that was the last time. It wasn't the last time we seen each other, but like, I knew Frank was sick. I didn't know the severity of his sickness. And we were doing a thing out in Country Club Hills, at the venue where they do the concerts and stuff. And me and Belgie were doing this party. And he was like, who would you like to spend with for the party? I said, it's gotta be Frank. I never spoke with Frank. I gotta spend, you know. Not thinking that would happen, but I just wanted to, because of that. And we ended up getting Frank, talked to Frederick. You know, Frank was like, talk to Frederick, and he'll make everything happen, don't worry. So we talked, Frank was saying when I used to do that, why do you do that, Mike? So, yeah, and that was, man, I cried like a nursery full of babies.
Yeah,
like,
very,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When I got that call, it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't registering because here are the three things that was going to happen. He was doing his birthday party. He was really sick then. And he really wasn't going to be able to make it to his birthday party. But because he loved his crowd, he got up out the bed and went down to the Smart Bar. Really sick. He got a little better. And he went to Miami, which wasn't advised. He went to Miami for the WMC. From Miami, he left and went to England to play ministry. Came back home. Was that him and Craig were supposed to come down. Craig was telling me that he was going to surprise me and come down to Reynolds. He's going to make a surprise.
Craig's on.
Like, come down to Reynolds and see me. he never made it. You know, he was trying to get a little rest, and he never woke up. So, yeah, but that picture right there, that is, you know, the picture is blown up. Like, if you look at my DJ mixer, I got a DJ skin of Frank. And, you know, I even got a sound, baffle built for my studio. Just 1 second. Hold on, y'all. Talk a little second.
We're getting
Mike, talk amongst yourselves.
set up
well, we have
for a
a
tour
lot
of
of
the
comments.
Mike Dunn.
A lot of people were there at that party. I think, you know, Reginald was saying he was at the Smart Bar where he got an autograph. You know, Ron Hardy's showing up for us. What's up, Ron? What's up, J.R. Jordan? What's up? Craig Lodges hanging in there. Oh, wow.
I thought you were going to tour us over to that spot on the wall where that baffle lives.
I haven't even put
it up
on the wall yet.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy.
That's pretty awesome. That's an incredible piece.
You know, this was my sound thing that was supposed to go over here, so that I always see Frank when I'm in the studio. Yeah.
Hey, Mike. Mike, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Frankie Knuckles seemed to be everybody's favorite person. What do you think made him so special for you?
Being genuine.
Mm-hmm.
If Frankie loved you, he loved you. If Frankie didn't like you, you would know.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, Miss, no.
Yeah, Wayne Williams was with him before they went to London.
Yeah, there were a number of people tuned in tonight that were at the Winter Music Conference that year. Similarly, I wanted to ask, besides a DJ that has heavily influenced you, there's an artist that seems to have been a significant influence, particularly over the music and some of the tracks that you've created. Can you talk about your love and appreciation of James Brown?
That's the Godfather, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, when I was 14 or 12, I think either 12 or 14, I was just all into James Brown, the P-Funk All-Stars, George Clinton, the whole nine like that, because my mother's friend's son was older than me. He was like 17, 18, something like that. He took me, this is when George Clinton came to the amphitheater.
43rd and Halstead.
And he took me, that was the first concert I had ever been to. He took me to that concert. And as a kid, like, you see the mothership laying on the stage with this, right? You like, what is that? All these people get out of You know, I was like sitting there looking like,
Yeah.
hearing the music and the concert and everybody going crazy, and it's, you know, I've been involved in a lot of things. I don't say much, but hey, James Brown was, come on now, because my dad was into rock, jazz.
Yeah.
Favorite group was Temptations. things of that sort. So it was a battle in the house. My dad liked Temptations, my mom liked Four Tops. You know what I'm saying? It's like my dad like. So for me, I got that music and that club and that disco stuff from my mom, because that's all. She used to take me to the record store with her every time she would go record shop.
You remember any of those stores?
Yeah, it was only one. It was, and I'm back in the area again. It's under I took pictures of it just in case they tear it down or something else. But it's right up under the L on 43rd, right across from where what's the name used to be. What's the other club over there we used to do? But it was right up under the L tracks under 43rd. And right before King Drive. So she'd take me to that record store. It had another store called Style Town, where you go get your verb and your waves and your figure waves.
And your 12-inch and your 7-inch.
It is. So, but my mom would take me there, and she would always ask the lady, like the lady would, she'd be like, "What's new?" The lady would bring out like this new, this new, this. You know how it used to be back in the day. And she would put the 45s on. My mom was like, "Is that a long version of that?" And, you know, like, back before they were called 12 inches, and they thought they were called long versions and disco versions.
Oh yeah, the disco version. I still call stuff the disco version. She played the disco version.
Right. You know, so my mom would always be like, "Man, y'all got the long version or y'all got the disco version."
That's right. That's right.
You know, so they were like, "Oh yeah." And I could just remember one record that was on 45.
Yeah.
And she got the disco version of it, and that was Anita Bell, "Ring My Bell."
Oh my
Anita
goodness.
Ward, yeah, "Ring My Bell."
Ward, "Ring My Bell."
TK Disco.
And how did it become the disco version? It had like an extended break, an extended intro.
Right, that, the Amy Stewart, the Knock on Wood.
Knock on wood. Oh, what a great summer. That was the same summer, like summer of '79, right?
Right.
That was great.
My mom was getting on those type of records. So it was, you know, for me, when I decided I wanted to become a DJ, it was easy. My dad lost the whole collection that we had got put out somewhere, and all the records were still in the house, and I couldn't get in the house to get the records out. But if I would have kept a hold of my dad's collection and my mom's collection, I would have had some very rare joints. You know, because I could just remember, you know, as a kid, I was a fanatic, so I used to wait for them to bring the Isley Brother records home so that I could write all the lyrics down and give them to a girl who played like I wrote. You know what I'm saying?
Anything to win the heart.
Right. So that's how I learned how to write songs.
Oh wow!
And that's how I learned about who was playing on it. You know, who was the drummer, who was the bass player, who was the, you know, it was more of who are the musicians in the group as well as, you know.
The days when music had liner notes and actual album art and all those things that drew you in. Once the music pulled you in, right? Then you wanted to learn more about it.
You be sitting up listening to your albums.
Right.
Reading.
You stay all night with the album, especially if it had the lyrics to all the songs. That's your night right there. We're gonna learn all the lyrics to all the songs.
Right.
Come on now.
Hey, look, because you had to. You had to be.
That's
had to be the cool person that don't all it. You know all the lyrics.
Got major props.
Man, just play it over and over and over and over.
Speak-
Like that Dear Michael, that Forever Michael album.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you
I can recite.
I was
that
gonna
album.
ask you.
Still to this day, I can still recite. Like that's the only record I want for Christmas. It was like, I don't care about anything. I want had the phone on, and the Forever Mike on it. Oh,
Have you?
that was a bad album.
Did you ever?
That was a bad album. That was an album that didn't get that crazy notoriety, but it was a bad album.
Lady
Bad
D,
means good.
yep, shouting out the Parliament albums for sure.
Lady D.
Ohio
Man,
Players,
the P-Funk All-Stars, when you open that cover,
right? It's
and
spectacular.
they all raised up.
How
Yeah,
about
three-dimensional.
Bootsy with the glasses? The Bootsy one where you get the glasses, you can cut them out.
People don't do that.
Oh, don't get Steve Miggity Maestro's tuned in. Don't get him started on it. He's like them in Funkadelic.
We are speaking something that
We gotta bring it back.
a lot of people that wouldn't understand that. This is before. This is what prepped us to be the kind of DJs we are.
Tell it.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not about. It's not about. Because I hear it a lot, and I've been hearing it a lot for the last 10 years. Oh, I can bring you bucks, baby. Oh, I can bring you bucks. And I can do it. That doesn't make you a great DJ. What Frank had, what Ronnie had, was connection. You know, connection. And his crowd, their crowds, felt like they knew them. Like, he's playing that for me. I know he's playing that for me because that's my favorite song, and he knows that's my favorite song. And he's playing, you know what I'm saying? It's that, you know, when you play for yourself and force things, you know what I'm saying? And a DJ has to be a great programmer. You know? It's like,
Speak on it.
you know,
We
it's a lot that goes into, you know, as I always say, all the legends, all the this and that. People, I mean, like Lowery, like, you know, they'll look at Lowery and don't even know, like, who's Lowery Grant? Like, if you gotta ask that, if you have to ask that,
Thank you, Mike Dunn. That means a lot coming from you, love. Thank you.
Come on now.
and
It was like you, Chris. Hold on. It was you, Chris.
Celeste and Chris.
Huh?
Celeste.
Celeste. Yeah.
Hey.
You. What?
and we're honored tonight because you're here, and along with you, some of those other legendary DJs have tuned in. And I must give a special shout out and appreciation to Terry Hunter, who made sure you and I got connected for tonight's show. So I definitely appreciate you, Terry, for that. Vince Adams, who's doing a great show as well on his profiles. Vince Adams joins us tonight. Wayne Williams, Steve
up,
Miggity
King?
Maestro,
What up?
Darlene, Lady D.
Miggity. What's up, Big Bro? Wayne in the building. Chosen Few, baby. The festival is coming out.
Yep.
And the little bro was in the building, too. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
You know, Hold on, you know what I'm saying? Let me put a little more light in the room. It look like my face is dark.
So we know that you've been in the lab and you were grinding, and we are super honored that you decided to spend some time with the Vintage House family. We are doing this for our love and interest in seeing the culture continue to grow and expand the love, peace, and unity that is house music. And we also do it because we know that there will be a time where this music will be studied. The lifestyle, the experience, the artists, the DJs like yourself, Mike, and others will be studied. And so Lauren Lowery up there has been.
Yeah, where's Lauren? I mean,
she's
Lauren
epic.
Has one thing. I said, Lauren, she's just like this.
She's just taking it all in.
She's
like,
putting this in the
student.
archive.
You know, Lauren's our smart person in the crew.
She's our academic.
Scholar. She's taking it all. She's like a sponge. She's just taking it all in. Trust me, nothing gets past her.
Lauren said, like, you know what I'm saying, the fourth person in the car that just.
That's right.
And everybody talking, and they like, man, you all right?
And so
I'm just listening, y'all.
I was muted because
there's some feedback.
There's some feedback. I apologize, but I'm just so happy that Lori and Kevin are able to talk about you and your legacy, talk about what's going to happen with the Chosen Few, and on the 4th of July. We're so thankful that you all are having a virtual event, and we're just really happy to have you on to talk about sort of the history and then, of course, the future of the music. So we appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much for being here. Mute me back.
You're on again.
Thank you, Lauren. Finally be hearing your voice, first of all. And secondly, yeah, I mean, we the fellas getting everything together. We've been looking at a couple spots, and we haven't quite made a decision yet. It's getting close, but hopefully, I mean, I know we will be able to pull it off. We would rather be in Jackson Park, but we understand, what's going on in our world today. So, we just hope that everybody else does, and then, hopefully we get through this and they find a cure. And
we will, and they will. We're gonna be on the other side of this thing. Illinois is doing pretty well. Compared to the other states, we might be able to, do some stuff by the end of the summer. So I don't count it out just yet. Yeah. I mean, we've been doing, as you said, we've been doing good, but I still think that we haven't hit that second yet. And if we do something too eagerly, it could set us back, and then we really be jacked up. I agree. That's what happened in 1918. It was the second wave. They got everybody.
Right.
Yeah, we gotta be careful. And if I hear one more person say what happened to Corona, I'm just gonna tell you, read the newspaper. It's not gone away. It was eclipsed by the riots, but now we're seeing a bunch of those people coming up positive. So it's not gone away yet, people.
Yeah, no. And it's and as long as people still doing crazy stuff, like, here's the thing. I mean, we could be, as a state, good. And then a couple people fly in from somewhere else.
Right.
Boom. You know what I'm saying? And here it goes again.
Yeah.
So, how can you...
It's
it's a mess.
Yeah.
I'm a homebody person anyway, so the Corona thing really didn't mess with me as much psychologically. What did was just losing all of my income at one time, which was all my European gigs and things like that. And just, and that goes with Terry as well, and probably, and the rest of the guys who make their living
Right.
in Europe more so than at home. We so having all of our whole summer, because we make the money in the summer to get us through the winter, to get back out in the summer. And we just completely, white. Like, not trying to talk big or put my business out there, but lost close to 30 grand worth of gigs. Just gone. You know what I'm saying? And
talk about
you know what I'm saying?
the
clubs,
music a little bit.
Ain't no clubs here where you can make it up.
What about royalties?
And, you know what I'm saying? I get a few people that cash out me, but
yeah. Talk about the royalties on the music, Mike.
You know what I'm saying? $60 like that.
Not closing the gap. Those live performances are the livelihood, right?
Hard crop. But I appreciate everybody that's, like me and T, we do our live streams, and Alan does his live streams, and I'm sure Lowery does hers. And I appreciate everybody that's, we still have to, because now what we're doing is we're planting seeds.
Love that, yes.
For what's about to come.
Right.
Don't wait till this thing is over with and then try to get back out there and then pick up where you left off.
I feel like there is an opportunity.
That's a great point.
First of all, I'm very sorry to hear that you lost that amount of money. That is painful for me to hear. I know it's painful for you to experience. But that's horrible. I'm just trying to figure out what's the silver lining, and some of the I think some of the live streaming is really good because it is introducing people to this genre who may not have ever participated. I know that I'm getting a lot of interest from people who I know for a fact were not coming out to anybody's parties. Right. And suddenly they're being exposed. They're like, I kind of like this house music.
Right. And another thing that now people can complain.
Right.
The field is level now.
Right.
Now you see what you really made of.
That's right. That's true.
You can't blame nobody no more. You can't, y'all always going over there. Yeah. I could bank that.
Yeah, you didn't put me on. You can put yourself on now.
Right. So
right.
It's up to you. It's up to you to what you make out of this. Because the playing field is level.
Completely.
So
it's flat.
Right. So you can't what are you gonna blame now? The internet on Facebook kicked me off, or I would have. Come on now.
Yeah.
Everybody has the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's at the same starting line now. You can't say, "Oh yeah, he was doing it 20 years for me. That's why I did it." No, everybody is starting this race together at the same place at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So it's who's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much work are you gonna put in to, you know what I'm saying? The branding yourself. That's the part that a lot of DJs miss. The branding.
Right.
The branding, that is important. What are you doing to brand yourself? Like just saying, "Oh yeah, check me out. I'm gonna be on."
Lowery,
go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if you could put the Walter Phillips quote up. I love that quote. One, he's encouraging health and wellness. But the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. Love that.
That's right. That's 100%, Walter. I
That
completely
is
agree.
100.
And you
Beautiful.
plant seeds in different ways, and I know you know this very well, Mike. But it's not just throwing up a live feed. It's supporting other DJs. It's attending their things. It's making comments. It's making contributions. It's showing up for other people. Then they show up for you. It's got to be a two-way street. You don't just build a crowd because you're fabulous. You build a crowd because people like you and they want to hear you and they want to be with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why my people that faithfully follow me, they, you know what I'm saying, they know that, they understand that, they get that, and my, you know what I'm saying, my live streams ain't just about music. I talk to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I you know what I'm saying? I give them some food for thought. I ain't just sitting up there playing music. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get in your ears. I gotta get in your hearts. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta make you think about something when you get off of, you know what I'm saying? When I get off my stream, I I took them down now because Twitch, you know what I'm saying, jabbing out now, but I took down all my streams, but you see everything that's going on, you know what I'm saying? I prepare. I just don't turn on my camera, turn on the decks and start mix. I prepare for the week of what I'm gonna do Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't get on there and just, what sets you apart? You know what I'm saying? And that's what, because everybody's doing it, and it's not, it's only 24 hours in a day.
Right.
And, but there's millions of people. What sets you apart? Why should I come and spend 2 or 3 hours watching you DJ? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's my mindset. That's how I think. I think like the people think first. And then I think like a DJ. Like, Mike, why they gonna come? Well, okay, I'm gonna do, okay. Every week I'm doing something. You might not see it, but every week I'm doing something to better my stream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not like just got my camera on and I'm constantly looking at different things, and a lot of things that I know I'm talking, but this is something else that out of this pandemic has brought to us. We know, you know what I'm saying? We know more about streaming.
Absolutely.
We know more about OBS software. We know more about,
We're learning a lot.
For me, you know what I'm saying? Yes. For me, I didn't learn color grading. I didn't learn LUTs. I didn't learn camera settings. I didn't learn. It's a whole nother thing that I wouldn't have even put the time to.
It's about elevation,
look at it,
right?
If this wouldn't have happened. So those are the things that I take out of
absolutely
good.
Yeah.
And another thing because I tell this to, me and Terry talk a lot, and I talked to him about this. Another thing that came out of good, we lost the money. Okay, cool. That's cool. You can get that back. What you can't get back is your health. And we're always constantly on the go, on the plane, off the plane, on the plane, off the plane, in the car, driving this plane, off the car, in the This, I look at this as a blessing to sit us down, because we wouldn't have never sat down. We would have kept going. As long as the money's there, we gonna go keep chasing. But this was a thing now that just, set us down so we can get our bodies and stuff back conditioned and get the rest that we really need. Because we've been traveling so long, so many years that, you don't, I can feel a change in my body. You know what I'm saying? I can feel when I walk through the airports and
Terry said, took the words right out of my mouth as well. Talking about reset.
We wouldn't. It was times that me and Terry was on the plane, and we'd be like, looking at each other like, man, you know what I'm saying? We ain't standing on each other, man, yeah. So, cause we know that we just punishing ourselves. We getting off the plane. We in the airport. We in the airport 3 hours before we're supposed to fly. Fly another 8 hours. Get off that plane. Wait 2 hours or 3 hours for a connected flight. Get on that flight. Fly another 2.5 hours. Get off that flight. Wait for somebody to pick us up. Drive an hour or 2.5. Now, European 2 hours is European 2 hours. That ain't stuck in no traffic. Like, man, that's like, we've been driving 2 hours, man. Like, whoa. Then we get off of that. Then we got to go hurry up, try to grab a little something to eat, get to the hotel, try to fall asleep, get up, go through sound check, come back to the room, have dinner, leave dinner, go back to the party, and then turn around and get back on the plane and come back home.
You must really love it.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to love it for that lifestyle.
Hashtag YOLO. You only live once. What do you think of that philosophy?
Right. When we were young, that was cool. As you get older, it's like...
yeah. We got to talk to all the 40, 50 plus world traveling DJs. See if they still love it.
So speaking of...
we still love it, but we also still have a family that we got to take care of and provide for.
Sir. Yeah.
And, if we stop that, so it, you know what I'm saying, it looks all good. You know what I'm saying? When people see us all over there or we're doing stuff, and it looks good on video. The process of getting there is what they don't see.
Right.
And that's what we should be documenting.
Yeah, it's work.
The process of us getting there. Not the process of the people seeing, because what they're seeing is not the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So they only see that part. Oh, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to get over the part that is the most taxing. I said, we get paid to sit on that plane and travel over there. We ain't really getting paid to go DJ.
Yeah, we get paid to show up. That's right.
That's what we're getting paid for, is that travel. Because, we only spending 2 hours. We spend more time on the plane than we do in the city that we're going to.
Yeah, it's crazy. Terry's commenting on that. Craig said 14 hours on a plane.
Yeah.
A 2-hour job.
But I like where you're going.
I went to Australia,
that's
22
hours.
Yeah. They asked me, was I coming back? I said, no. Derek May comes here all the time. I'm not Derek May. Derek May can afford to come there. And it's $22 for a pack of squares.
Yeah. Well, it must be a pretty big payday to get you to do that. I mean, that's my hope, is that if you're spending 14 hours on a plane, you've made enough money for a month. Something's paying off.
I mean, for me, it wasn't as like you think. And then I did the long route. I didn't come from the States. I came from Europe. I came from London. So I had to fly all the way around.
Yeah.
You did the hemispheric route. And so what you said earlier about the documenting that's a show. So we're gonna when we're on the other side of this, we're gonna go with you to one of your European trips, and we're gonna document it, and we're going to bring it back so that we can share that story so people understand.
That's a great story, dude. We
We're
gotta
there.
come
So
with you, Mike. We're coming with you.
Man, that's a thing that you all got to see. Like,
we're gonna do it. We're gonna document it.
like, I want to be telling Terry Bear what Tracy, my sis, wanted to go to Europe so bad. Go to Europe so bad. Go to Europe so bad. Oh, take me. Terry, like, man, you don't want to do this. No, I want to go. Take me. After she did that, no, you can have it.
She was done. He was done. Just needed one time.
You know what I'm saying? She was like, no, I'm good. No.
That's hysterical.
I cannot put it into words how you feel. Like, because Terry is, I'm telling Terry business, but Terry's scared of flying. So as the plane shake one time, he about to pass out.
He's cracking up. I've seen Terry in the airport coming back from one of them European trips many times.
Terry's not into that flying, but you got to do it. Got to white knuckle it.
You don't understand how I can go to sleep on that floor.
I don't either. I'm with Terry. I do not like turbulence. You good.
Man, did you just feel that? I was like, no, listen, man. So, T got dreams that he go do something else. I don't know what.
So Mike, you've been one of our most animated guests. You bring passion
clearly.
And personality. We thank you for being up for a night with the Vintage House family. We are a family, so we just chop it up. We chop it up,
Terry. Terry's still talking
He's still talking about turbulence.
I hate it too, and I fly all the time, and it's still like when it hits me, I'm like, we're going down.
No, it just be a look. The last time we were flying together, not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Yeah, not to cut you off, yeah. The last time we flew together, we had turbulence so bad. Oh my God.
It's horrible.
Videotape out, but it was just too. I couldn't do it like that. I'm talking about paranoia.
What, were you afraid?
The plane was doing all this. The plane was. Boom.
I don't miss that. I have to tell you, I'm not flying these last few months, and I don't miss turbulence. It's been nice. Not be bouncing around in the air.
I'm gonna tell you, them flights are safer than driving on the Dan Ryan during stay-at-home orders. So, shoot, they 100 mile an hour. Yep. So, ultimately, I like to ask a philosophical question to close out the night, and this question for you is, there's no right or wrong answer ever. It's just to, like you said, go into the mind and share a little bit of that thought. Your animation prompted me to ask you if you were any animated character that you've ever watched or seen, what would it be, and why would you choose that animated character?
Animated. So when you say animated, put me somewhere where I can.
Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, Superman and the Justice League,
Oh, okay.
Tom and Jerry.
Hey, man. Thomas? Thomas?
Oh, no, you don't.
Hey, look. No, but, who would I have to say? Man, if I had to be any animated character, who would I be?
That's a hard question.
I don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you say Superman, it seems real cocky.
No, you can say Superman.
There's no right or wrong answer. We're not. This isn't judgment. This is black thought, brother. Black thought.
Judgment-free zone. You could be Superman.
No. I mean, I would love to be Superman, but then he got kryptonite.
Well, there's always a weakness somewhere.
Right. So, if I had to be an animated character, who did I used to like when I was young as a kid? Come home, couldn't wait to see.
Popeye.
Popeye is the reason I like spinach.
Well, that's good.
Because I was like, man, Popeye, Pluto did it.
Terry's already answered for you. He
Right.
said he wanted to be Batman because he like kicking people's asses.
Oh, man.
All right, Terry.
Kapow. Kapow. Bam. Boom.
Batman, man, you know what I'm saying? Batman had some little tights on, Joe.
Elliot said that was a Pisces answer. I don't know who's a Pisces. Terry, are you Pisces or Mike a Pisces?
Me.
You got the Pisces answer.
I'm a Pisces too. Right
Man,
on,
he
Pisces,
right.
brother.
What's going on? He right. Yeah.
All right, so
Brother, hey, look.
Ghost Rider.
In the building. That's who, you know what I'm saying? That's who I told you that made
Yes.
it from DJ. That's Leonard
Okay.
Remix One.
Yes,
I
sir.
know him very well. We talked today for
He's
an
a-
hour.
He's a friend
Hey, look.
of the show.
Hey, look, because he started, hey, look. I had a cassette tape that he gave me when I was young before I started teaching. And it was the battle of him and Farley. And it was, then it came on like, yo, Farley just, man, I mean, that was when it was Farley Funk King. Farley Funk King ain't got S on me. Down, and he lost the battle because he played that rap. But
Leonard, are you listening?
That's just another, you know, no, okay, so look, back to the subject at hand. Animated.
No,
Animated. Let's roll with Batman, T.
You got Batman, you got Superman.
Gotham City, baby.
All right, Justice League. So we are, again, so appreciative of you spending the time with the Vintage House family. We want you to be able to get back in the lab. We're looking forward to whatever is next in terms of new releases, new music. We're certainly looking forward to July 4th, the all-day festival. Vintage House family will be there in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I thank
We will.
you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lauren and Lowery.
Thank you so much, Mike Dunn.
You know
It's been a
what I'm
long time coming. So
Great.
glad you came on the show.
We've
Great
been
show.
trying to get this thing together to come out to Evanston to do this, you know what I'm saying?
I know. Or we'll do it there again.
Yep.
Right, but you know, I had some family things that went on that I had to take care of, so, you know, but it's now, so I thank you guys.
Today.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Mike.
Yeah,
I appreciate you too.
And stay safe and well.
Stay safe and warm. Hey, I want to give a big shout out before we leave. A couple people who are recovering. I think, Vernell has some issues and Angie Stone. So we praying for our brother and our sister and anybody else who's struggling through this time. It is a time for prayer. It's a time for blessing. It's a time to hold people in the light, because everybody, we all need it.
We're holding
Okay.
you, Craig Loftus. We're holding you
Craig
up,
Loftus,
brother.
we hold you in the light, brother. Mike Dunn, we hold you in the light. We hold everybody in the light.
So
I love you guys.
for the Vintage House family, Lauren,
Yes.
Lowery, your main man Mega, Mike Dunn, we thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Good night,
Love you.
and next Wednesday, 9 o'clock, same